gonna go ahead and get started with the work session. Ms. Frida?
Good afternoon. Sandy Freedom with Utilities Customer Service. So I have item A. This is an agreement with Zendesk. So what this will do is Zendesk provides chat services. So this will give us an opportunity for our customers to be able to chat with a live representative. We're going to start out with 2 and have 1 in customer service, 1 in collections. And then if it does well, we can add more at a later date. We kind of want to know how it's going to work with our customers first. So the good thing about this is it will have an AI generated to begin with. So if there's basic questions that the customer has, we can have a link for them to be able to go in there to their link. And then even after hours, they'll be able to see those links.
Sandy, is this something that will be a new feature on the website?
It is.
And will it be mobilized?
It should be on, now IT might have to answer that on the mobile part of it, but it should be on our utilities webpage, just an option for chat at the bottom. We're not gonna make the customer log in to their account. I think that should be available to everybody, so it should just be on the utilities page. So it should be on the mobile optimized version of the webpage.
Is this something that, in your opinion, you see other departments that could be needed as well?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
And
I
they're,
think it's what everybody's going to. I use it. If I'm having to talk with, I have AT&T for my cell phone. I've used it quite a bit with them, and it's so much easier and quicker. But they even have there's options now with Facebook Messenger. You can message companies through Facebook. So there's a lot of options out there, but we're going to start with the chat.
Usually quicker
Yes,
than waiting on them.
I hope so.
Check, AI doesn't cuss back, does it?
Okay.
Just making sure.
Any additional questions for Sandy? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chief? Shane?
Item D, a resolution to approve authorization to apply for a grant with Walmart. Spark Good is the amount of $5,000. It's no match grant on behalf of the fire department. They'll be used to purchase a boat trailer. Currently, their trailer is a single level, and this would allow them to purchase a double level trailer.
Is it boat trailer? Is it
Correct. Any questions?
no match.
No match.
Okay, thank you very much. Ryan?
Hello, everyone. Item E is a resolution to approve payment. This is for a repair for what turned into 2 light posts in front of Pope's Tavern by ground guys in the amount of $2,550.
How did it become 2 like
One broke, couldn't replace that one, so we had to get 2 new ones to make them match. That's how I understand it.
Are they at the, I drive by there every day, and yet I don't think I've noticed it. Are they there at the fence to go in?
Yeah, they're right in front of the building, and either side of the walkway leading up to the building. Yeah, right inside the fence there. They were, yeah, I think this happened in June, and it's been, they were gone for a couple of weeks, and now they're both back up.
Was grounds guys liable for that?
It wasn't them that
Oh, okay.
did it.
All right, thank you.
Are those
Gas or electric? I was curious about that.
So we weren't able to make the gas ever work, and so we retrofitted it with electricity, and that's how it operates at the Art Center as well. Questions?
Any questions? No, thank you.
Thank you.
David?
Good afternoon. I have several things on the agenda today. The first one is a contract with Riverview Track and Materials to repair Caterpillar machine, $1,103.76. These are all very similar, so I'll just cover them all together. The second one is a general contract with Riverview Track and Materials, and then the third one is another one with them to fix the Caterpillar 963 at the landfill, 53 17. Riverview Track is a company that works on heavy equipment. They're they're in our area than most shows, but they give us another place that we can get our heavy stuff worked on. They've done a very good job for us. The middle one here, which is item G, is a general contract, so they don't have to come back each time they work on something for us. So they fixed a couple of pieces of equipment. They'll probably fix many more. They've done a great job. We're lucky to have them here. It gives us a chance to get away from the dealers necessarily, can use an independent and a local person to work on our stuff. Any questions on those three?
So right now, so that I understand, our payment to them is about $6,500.
Yeah, two different repairs, one at.
Total.
One at street and one at solid waste.
And then the contract that will give us kind of the umbrella
The
coverage.
umbrella,
Okay,
correct.
all right. I
And
just wanted to
for-
make sure.
Yeah, for anything from the stuff at recycle all the way up to street, all the way to solid waste. So depending on what the repair is. So, any questions on those? All right, the next one is a payment or invoice with WESI. WESI used to be the forklift people across the river. They've recently changed names. They do our forklifts. We buy their stuff from them. And we had a forklift at Recycle, went down, total repairs on it, $2,588. They came in and fixed that.
So Riverview can't fix these.
Well, they might could. Forklifts are a weird thing. So we got the local guys come in and fix that forklift. And Riverview is more of the big stuff. They can do the smaller stuff, but you never know.
In my mind, a forklift is the big stuff too.
Well, it's all perspective.
Yes.
Any questions on those? All right, so on the regular agenda, item A is a contract with KT Holdings for the city to purchase this property on Starkey Drive, formerly known as the Shoals Tubular Building. So this item has come through both the Public Works Committee and the Finance Committee. So you've all been introduced to what we're proposing here. This is a 66, roughly 1,000 square foot building, 3,000 square feet of office, finished office space in it. It's on a piece of property that's 2 parcels of 26 total acres. This is more of a general fund project than it is a solid waste street project, but I'll cover those kind of independently, and then Shana's going to talk a little bit about some of the money involved here. But what's driving me on this is a place to put a transfer station. We currently don't have a place for one. We can't fit one at the landfill, so we've looked at property all around. This is the best location that we can find. It's an industrial park. It's not going to bother anybody. A transfer station is where our residential garbage will go. Currently, we are paying our contractor, which, as you know, went from $34 to $66 a ton to be hauled out. If we had a transfer station, we help control those costs in the future. The next things we would look toward would be maybe transportation, maybe trucks, maybe trailers, probably trailers and trucks, so that we could control that part of the process too. The regional landfill is the end result of this. Florence is always going to have garbage. And this is a step toward controlling that. It's a very suitable location for this. Infrastructure's there, it's been cleared, parking lot's there. It's an ideal place to build one. It's not going to bother anybody. Transfer stations are good neighbors. People are not going to hate this being out there. Trucks are coming up and down, Helton Drive, coming in and out, state route, wide roads. There's a lot of positives of doing this there. Having this property also gives us a future. If you look at what Athens just did, they just built 2 transfer stations as they're transferring all their waste out. Our landfill will eventually fill up, and once it does, we may look at doing another transfer station there, take the construction demolition waste one way and the garbage another way. It's always a possibility as well into the future. What we're proposing here would be adequate for probably double the amount of waste that we're hauling now. And it has probably a 50-year life expectancy or more. Not a complex building, poles, metal sheeting, a lot of concrete, and it's a ramp that you dump your garbage into a trailer and off it goes. So we have a garage door that could close it up. A lot of positives there. The other phase of the project would be the creation of a central garage facility for the general fund departments, including solid waste, in which the building is there. We need a new garage door on the end of it, but it's big enough. We had fire and police and parking rec, and everybody's kind of on board with this project to centralize our garage facilities, doing maintenance, repairs, tires, the whole spectrum of what can be done to manage our fleet, unlike it's being managed now. Each department does their own thing. We already have the software in place. The engineering department uses CityWorks to do their work orders. One of their segments under the subscription they have is fleet management. And that's what we do. We'd have a person to run this and operate this. We use what we have in already, kind of gather it up and make this into a project and into a facility. Fire department's currently looking at, they have a one-bay shop now that's, if you have a truck down, they don't have a place to work on the truck. So we could certainly move all that out there. To build them a new facility obviously would be several $1 million, who's to say. So that's another angle here we're looking at as far as central garage goes. Street department, as we've talked about in these committees, is in a building built many years ago that's undersized. The lot is undersized. It's full of equipment. Now, if you ride by it this time of day, you'll see there's not much room left. This solves that problem. We wouldn't have to build a new street department one day. I did put that in my capital projects request for, within the next 10 years, a new street department location. We don't have a location. This would solve that. There'd be plenty of room out there to phase them in and move them out there and move forward with that. Even talking to Shana about adding maybe a repair group that could come to fix the window here or check the plumbing at one of the museums. We could grow that and phase that in there, and even looking at maybe some cleaning people. We have a problem now. A lot of times we'll have some kind of mess somewhere, and during the day we don't have anybody to clean it up. Could solve that problem too. So there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of growth here. This would be a municipal complex. If you look around at other cities and all, they have a lot of this already. And we don't have this place. We don't have this property. So this gives us a shot into the future. I think we wouldn't look back at it and regret it. I think it's a good move for us and gives us the ability to take Florence to another step well into the future.
Is it true you can offset a quarter of the cost of this property with the removal of some of the dirt and use it someplace else?
Yeah, there's dirt on site that the current owner has been removing and all that, and so there's more dirt there. Last year I think we paid $300,000 for dirt covered at the landfill. We could certainly use dirt from here. Right now we're actually getting free dirt from the UNA football field. Thank you. And we've got a big chunk of that coming in, which is great. So, but yes, there is dirt there for that. It's a possibility.
And Shana, we've had 2 or 3 meetings on this, and I did not bring any notes with me. Can you refresh my memory on the savings that we will, that's going to happen here with doing some of these things David just mentioned in-house?
We average about $1.5 million a year in maintenance expense, vehicle maintenance, building maintenance, janitorial. We could potentially save about $1 million of that, and so we would have a net savings. And we would have to add staff, but once you add the new staff, the new, logistics of it, we could have about a $500,000 savings each year. So over time, the building would essentially pay for itself.
I have 2 things. One, once we have the transfer station up and running, am I correct that we will no longer need to outsource that?
Yeah, that is correct.
Which would also then result in a savings, correct?
Yeah, it will. So once you get the transfer station constructed, which, that's going to be a process to go through, but then we would rebid. We have a 3-year contract with our current provider now. The time frame lines up pretty well with that. Once we had that, we would put it back out for bid with somebody hauling, or we may want to look at buying trailers and get a local guy to haul it. That changes the game. That controls our money. I don't think garbage prices are ever coming down, but it does give us that control and would result in at least holding things steady for now.
Right, I think that's a really critical component here. And I also want to just say as a reminder, you initially brought this project to the Public Works Committee, and we reported on it as a part of the minutes several months ago. And at the council request, you took the additional step of getting someone from the outside in to come and assess it and make sure that we would be paying a fair price for it. So I sincerely appreciate that, but I also think that the fact that it's made it here is indicative of the fact that it did pass that muster, and that was at our request.
Yeah, that is correct. We did gotta find a guy from Huntsville that does industrial property appraisals, and he came on site and appraised the property and did appraise at that market value of what we're proposing to pay for it.
And it will house a lot more than just your department.
Absolutely. There's a lot of room out there. It's hard to say what all we could do, but
But there's been interest from the police department, from the fire department, and there was one other. Was it gas and water?
EMA as
EMA,
well,
thank you.
urban forestry.
control supportive of the central garage, and, you know, it just opens up a whole lot of possibilities, especially for the future.
Okay, great.
On Tuesdays, a big truck comes by and picks up my garbage.
Yes, sir.
The blue goes to East Florence.
Correct.
Where does my green garbage can of garbage go?
It goes to the Northeast Waste Services, a Mississippi transfer station located in the Petersville area on, out there across from Underwood School. It goes there. We put it in their transfer station, they push it into their truck, and they haul it to Walnut, Mississippi.
So our garbage doesn't go to Savannah Highway.
Correct, it does not. Now, you put a couch or a mattress out, it goes to Savannah Highway. So the street department picks it up, but your garbage goes to their transfer station in their trailer, their landfill in Mississippi. It's $66 a ton.
And it used to be $34 a ton?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Any additional questions for David? Thank you very much.
Nothing to do with any of this. I just appreciate your department going the extra mile.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the guys do a great job.
This
And,
is deer season right now.
It's deer
Especially on
season.
Veterans Drive.
Our number one customer is you and him, who calls us often with dead critters in different places, so. And bear with us during leaf season, it's started.
I was about to say, that was my next thing. Please make sure that is posted. I've already had 7 requests, one at the polling place this
It
morning.
should be on the internet, under Public Works, is the schedule of where we're gonna be next and where we've just been, so
Thank
So
you.
you have already started?
we have started, yeah.
Trip
Absolutely.
through my neighborhood goes really fast.
Yeah, Things
No
are real
leaves were
fast
out.
right now, and there's a lot of leads out there, but it'll get worse, so,
Thank you.
thank y'all.
Thank you, David. Mary?
How are you all this afternoon? I have 2 items on the agenda. The first one is item J. It's a resolution to approve a contract with Stewart C. Irby Company. This is the company that performs our annual dielectric tests on all of our tools. And this is a renewing of the contract after the 3 years it has expired. Any questions on this?
A cost change?
The cost did change a little bit. So it's been 3 years since this was previously bid out. So just roughly, a sticks used to be $12, and now they're $13.50. That's a 10-foot stick. I'm gonna go down and read the prices. We have a lot of different sticks, but one of them went from $17 to $29 for the extendo sticks that go up to 10 feet. To clean and test went from $12 to $13.
So that contract was we signed it in 21?
Yes.
And this one ends when?
It lasts 3 years, so it'll end in 27. 24, 25,
Right, so when
26.
does the current one end?
It ended, it's already ended.
Oh, it's already ended?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, so this is the new pricing for our year, so we'll have to re-up in 27. Mm-hmm. The last time we got a price was in 21 from Bertie. Mm-hmm. Any other question about that? The next one is a resolution to approve a contract with IMSA Southeastern Section. This is the company that does traffic signal certification training, and they are coming in-house to certify some of our employees for traffic light controls. We've, to be honest, we've never done this and should have done it years ago. So this is, something that
like I said, need to be done years ago, and we're just taking care of. But it's at 700 per employee for each class they take.
How many will
It
you put
takes-
through it?
We're gonna put, we have 6 crews that take calls, and each call week, you know, we have traffic issues, so we're making sure that we're covering all sets of crews, so we're putting 15 people through it.
So what will they?
It'll
be-
actually be 3 classes they have to take in order to have their certification.
What will they be doing? Just change up?
All the traffic lights are responsible for the resetting or maintaining them, whatever's needed for our traffic lights.
So if, when you run over something and it's supposed to change the light, it doesn't work, y'all can fix it.
We can fix it.
And the 700 is for all 3
No,
classes?
per class.
So that's,
2,100 per employee.
yeah.
Yes, to get them certified.
Okay.
Yes.
Whatever it takes, we need to do that.
So
Okay,
that's
what I mean,
$31,500.
Okay.
And that will have meet our state of Alabama DOT requirements. Any other questions?
When you get them certified, right drive and Cloverdale Road.
Okay,
In Pine Street.
and Pine Street.
Yeah.
Pine Street's got its own issues, but yes.
Well,
A lot of
two
these
important-
locations, so we do yearly traffic light maintenance, and we replace so many intersections each year, okay? Because a lot of them need to be replaced, and Pine Street is one of them. Every one of the intersections need to be updated. So, but we only do so many per year, so we'll eventually get to all of them, but it's just, we just can't do them all in one year, so it'd be too expensive, and we just don't have the manpower to do it, so.
Can we get Mr. Edwards the training? Would that help?
Right drive and Cloverdale
Okay.
Road. Started sitting there for a minute.
I understand.
And I get 20 seconds to get through it.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Bill?
First item is a special work authorization agreement with AlDOT, and this is for the Jackson Road Bridge. We've got a few bridges, not very many, that we've got to get a snooper truck, and we've got to rent it from the state. And so the cost of this is gonna be, it's $5,648.35.
And that's just for that one situation?
Yes, and,
Is that a full
and
day? Is
and
that
it
as long
takes
as you
time
need
to
it?
do that, so,
Is that an indefinite rental?
yes.
How often is that done on that bridge?
For that bridge, it's, every year you've got to do it.
So there's some work done on it 2-3 years ago, something like that.
Yes, but, it's not to the level of what it can support that, a lot of the other bridges are. So we've got to do it annually.
Any questions for Bill on this one?
Okay, the next item on the agenda is an item for $36,000. This work is related to paving, near the parking deck. And basically, what we're gonna be doing is, it's what I call an alley, but it's near where the concrete was put. And it's gonna go all the way from Pine Street to the alley, that runs between Tom Bigby and Mobile. And, but it's also, it's not just that, it's that alley, but, it's also, there'll be some seal coating and striping of the parking lot at the corner of Pine Street and Mobile as part of this project. Give me just a minute, I think there may be something I'm missing. Yeah, it's for that, I think I've covered it all. And it's in the amount of $36,000.
So that's the alley and the space behind that,
Yeah, it's the alley and the space behind the parking lot.
that's based on the memorandum of understanding with Champion.
Right, and we're also gonna be doing some work, for those businesses that, had to put up with it, to seal coat their parking lot and do some striping too, so. Papers. Please forgive me. Before we get started on these next two, and they're both A-trip projects, I think my secretary gave y'all a copy of the letter, because these A-trip projects work different, from every other project. And I can read the letter to you if y'all haven't read it yet.
The one from Jeff Hornsby,
Yes,
dated January 25th of this year?
yes,
We have it.
okay.
I mean, it's all in the packet, Kathy, so carefully. Thank you.
Yeah, these A-trip projects, they fund them through the bond market. And, so we started this thing in 2018, and at this point in time, we owe an additional $144,217.61. And,
I have a problem with this.
well,
So I'm going to respectfully ask Bill if it could come to Public Works so that we can discuss it. Because this is a lot of money, and this is dated January of this year. It's November.
well, let's see. It was dated January of this year, but I mean, we just recently got it, so.
Fair
but I mean,
enough, but could we have a moment where we discuss it there? Because that's 6 years later.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, we'll do whatever y'all want.
That's my opinion. I'm only one, but when I got that from Annette, and I'm grateful she sent it, but I read through everything, and it surprises me that 6 years later, we've been using this roundabout, and we're now getting this final bill that's almost $150,000.
That's the way they work.
I don't like any of that.
But we can set up a meeting now. The next one is the same principle, but it's not anywhere near the same amount of money.
Is it not? I thought that one was 100. Oh, it's 15,000.
It's 15,000, and because I think this has been 6 years since when we first started working on it, and these bonds come due, over at different periods. These two are just coming due at this point in time. Now, the one that we're looking at now at West Mobile, Dr. Hicks and College Street, there may be some good news on it, but currently what they're asking for is $15,672.64. But Annette talked to one of the young ladies that works on these type of projects with Aldon, and she said that she believed that this would be the last one. But if it's not going to be too much of an addition. It's not like the previous project.
I think I have some additional questions because this gets into different budget years and it becomes impossible for us to do what we need to do project and planning wise when we have these bills that come in after the fact. And I don't mean 6 months.
Right.
I mean, it's impossible to do anything.
Well, bottom line, if the state of Alabama bills you, what are you gonna do?
Well, and I will say this, that, we're hoping that the payment, for the other one is much less, that it's the final payment, but basically, some of these bonds are going to continue to be open until 34. So it's, you're still looking at, almost another 10 years. I don't know about the one at the roundabout, but but they did indicate that the lady that administrates it thought that it may be the last payment, for this other one.
Well, I think if Public Works is willing, we could get together before the next council meeting and just deal with them on the next one, once we have a chance to ask additional questions. And I would invite other council members to be present if they have questions, because this is the first time in my experience that we've had one that's been so late to the game. And I'd just like a little more information.
That's what I was gonna ask. You said this is normal. Has this happened, when has this happened last? Because if it hasn't happened,
Well, this is normal for the state.
right, but have we
I don't
experienced
remember. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but I don't remember it ever happening. I mean, it's been a while since we did actual projects, before this.
No, I would welcome that meeting.
If y'all, I mean, it's.
So what I'm hearing is, Councilwoman Eubanks, you want to take these two, pull these two, and so you have an opportunity to have a meeting,
Correct.
and then
To
get
learn
it on
more
the,
from Mr. Batson.
on the next agenda.
Right, because they're
For the
just
next meeting.
change orders,
Okay.
so they wouldn't appear on the agenda, but they would be an opportunity for us to do what we need to do, so you can close out those projects. But yes, ma'am, that would be my request.
Okay, so
Councilwoman.
we're gonna set the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Kathy, help me do that,
So
please.
Kathy will table these two until the next.
And what he needs to bring is a why.
I'll just need a little bit more explanation on them, but also to how we work around the planning of that.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to work around. I mean, we put a lot of money into it at the beginning, but I'll see what I can find out.
Thank you, I sincerely appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
One last question, Bill. Are there others out there that could surface as well in the future that maybe in that meeting need to discuss those two just to get that out of the way? That you're aware of?
I tell you what, I can come up, I don't remember any A-Trip projects, off the cuff, but I can find out and see if we've got any. And if we had this meeting, I'll bring your information on those two.
I just thought it might make a
Yeah.
more efficient meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Andy?
Good afternoon. We have two items this afternoon. Item N, this is in regard to the renewal for our cyber liability insurance. On this, the traveler's insurance will remain on the risk for this. Same coverages as last year, probably a little bit better this year. Notables here, we are getting a rate savings this year of about $6,500. So that will bring the total premium for the renewal to $50,091.
So what was the most it had gotten up to?
I think last year, which would have been $56,600.
Is one of the requirements that training be offered to every user within the employment?
Requirements to get the insurance? Is that-
Yes.
No, sir. No, sir. Not that I'm aware of. They do have pretty strict standards, and this year, one of the good points was that we actually were able to get an automatic renewal this year. Previous years, they scrutinized our IT program pretty heavily on what we have in place, multi-factor authentication, other things to make sure we're up to snuff to be able to maintain it. But as far as training, I don't believe that's one of the requirements.
Do we need training
Sure, absolutely.
with the sign-off that everyone has seen it, either virtually or hands-on?
As far as a program is concerned, or as far as knowing that we have cyber liability insurance? I guess I'm not following.
To do everything we can to keep from paying more than $350,000 next time.
Sure, well, hopefully this policy is a big part of it, having
What's
this
the-
in place.
I think the two-factor for sure has been put.
That was a big part of it, is being able to have different types of encryption ways, and the IT department can speak more to some of the things they've put in place since 2020.
What's our deductible?
$50,000.
$50,000
That's correct.
per incident?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Within 1 year.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Hopefully, that will not happen.
That's correct, I agree.
I did a little research, and most companies require that you have some type of training, because it's not the tech guys that will most likely be hit. It'll be me or him or them who just reads your email and then says, if you get this one, don't click on it.
Sure.
I may have already clicked on it before you tell me not to.
Sure.
It scares me.
Sure. Reason to be after 2020 with us, absolutely, certainly understand.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other questions on that? The second one is item O, and this is for the approval of the master service agreement with Davies Actuarial Audit and Consulting, Inc. This is for Davies to perform an actuarial report of our liability insurance fund. This fund is used for our self-insured program that we have, which includes things like paying for claims filed against us, legal services, and legal settlements. Notable here is that the state and our bond issuers require us to get this done every 2 years, and we've just ended our 2-year window, so it's time to get it done again. The estimated amount for this is $5,500. 2 years ago, it was $5,000, so they went up just a little bit on us this year.
Is this medical insurance?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay.
So we've used this company before.
We have. It previously known as Merlinos and Associates. They went with Davies.
I remember Keith talking about that.
Good firm, been good to us, for sure.
Ben, rather, not Keith. Yeah, Ben.
Any questions? Thank y'all.
Ted?
Afternoon, I have 3 items on the consent agenda. Item P is a contract with Robinson & Sons Construction Services Incorporated. This is the contract to redo the clear well at the Cypress Creek Water Treatment Facility. This is where we encountered the baffles inside the clear well itself. They're deteriorated, and this is the project we would like to get done in order to kind of close out and complete the renovation of Cypress Creek. And that amount is $720,000 to Robinson & Sons.
And those are budgeted funds, or are they
This is SRF funding.
SRF funding?
Yes, ma'am, this will be SRF funding.
Okay.
How old are those baffles?
The best of my knowledge, they're around 50 years or so, so they've been in quite a while.
Have they outlived their usefulness?
Oh, yes.
So
Absolutely, yes.
we're
ma'am.
overdue to replace.
When we took that clear well offline to do the cleaning and whatnot with the earlier renovations, we anticipated to see some damage, but they were actually much worse than what we had one that was almost to the point of collapse. And we're not so sure, since we put it back in use, we're not so sure that one has not collapsed since then. So they're well overdue.
Is it a lengthy process to fix it?
No, sir, it's the biggest, it's not a lengthy process. We're thinking it's gonna be about a 30 to 45 day project. But the problem is we need to do it during low demand season because the plant will be down, it will be offline. So we will be supplying strictly from Wilson Lake.
Thank you.
Any more questions on that one? Item Q is a contract with Edie. This is in regards to the Veterans Park Water and Sewer Improvement Project. The total cost on this is $707,092.40. And this will be, of course, this amount will be reimbursed to the Gas and Water Department by Park and Rec.
When this is done, will this, I think we've discussed this before, will this enable us to, somewhere down the road in the future, if we decide to bring that campground back to life, this will make that possible? Is that right?
That's correct, yes, sir. When Robert and them undertook this project, we took that into consideration and factored that in. So the major expenditures with this project, of course, are the lift station itself, the electrical associated with it, and then of course the force main. But all of those components have been sized to handle future growth with the park, and especially with the RV part of it.
Good.
Any questions on that one?
Are these improvements associated with the tennis and pickleball?
Yes and no. They are required, see if I can explain it. Yes, they are required because of the growth, the expansion of the park. They're gonna be needed. We don't, under the current, our current situation, we don't have the capability to handle all of the inflow of water and everything that's gonna be associated with the new infrastructure of the park.
And probably few people know that the neighborhood next to the park does not have sewage.
Correct.
They're all on septic tanks.
Yes, sir.
Will this make sewer available to them?
No, sir, we did not size it to that, to do that. No, sir, we did not.
Are there other neighborhoods in Florence that do not have sewer?
Yes, sir, there are other neighborhoods, and actually I had worked on another project that Ms. Eubanks had requested some information on, and we have roughly around 20%, less than 20% that are on septic tanks. But then, of course, that neighborhood that you're referring to is included in that.
Does that include the low pressure?
Yes, sir, correct. But it's very, very few neighborhoods that are not on sewer or have access to sewer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, one other question. I know we have an issue with water to the Corps of Engineers. Is that part of that, or that's separate?
That is part of this project. We think we've got that taken care of, but all of the entire infrastructure will be upgraded, including what we supply the Corps of Engineers. Any more questions on that one? And then the final one is item R. This is an agreement or to enter into a partnership with East Lauderdale Water and Fire Authority, the Town of Lexington, Rogersville Waterworks and Sewer Board, to seek and secure funding for infrastructure for us to be able to provide and sell water to the town of Rogersville via East Lauderdale Water Authority. We're interconnected with those systems, but it would have to go through East Lauderdale. We've had several meetings with all of the different people representing each system, and we've got a proposal put together that we think we're going to be able to get the funding to do this project through the Emerging Contaminants Fund through ADM. So this is just an agreement for us to enter in with them into a partnership and try to secure those funds.
And no detriment financially to the city or your department?
That's correct. Our aspect of the project, which is the line running from the new tank at Brooks High School to County Road 31, we already have that engineered, and we're actually waiting on some SRF money to go ahead and move forward with that part of it. So our project, part of the project has already been engineered and funded. Now, if we are able to secure these funds through the emerging contaminant, we can take the funds that we've already got set aside for that project, and we can use that on other aspects of our capital improvement. So it's a win-win for us in hindsight. And then on top of that, we'll be able to sell water to those guys and, create income.
And we know there's a need for them to have that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The new water tank on Cox Creek,
Correct.
is the same size as the one at Brooks?
It's 500,000 gallons bigger. The one at Brooks is 1.5 million gallons, and the one on Cox Creek will be 2 million.
2 million.
Yes, sir.
That's impressive.
It's
I just couldn't tell now.
If you haven't been by there lately, they've actually almost got what we refer to as the bubble. They've almost got it complete, and it's going to be a sight when we get it raised.
Are you responsible for the signage on the one across from Newbern's?
Yes.
That looks good.
Yes, sir. That was actually that is the tank we just completed. Robinson & Sons actually just completed that project for us. And that was one of the, so we're trying to look at maybe getting that type of signage on all of our tanks as we refurbish them and fix them. Of course, this one is a new construction, and I'm actually awaiting pricing on signage for the Cox Creek, what we're going to refer to as the Cox Creek tank now.
That looks nice. That's a good touch. And it reminds people as they go by.
Yes, sir.
That we're expanding.
That's right. Yes, sir. Any more questions?
Ted, I would just like to commend you on your leadership with this collaboration to try to get water all the way to Elk River from Florence if we have to. I've sat in on a couple of those meetings. You've been very positive and energetic. Y'all seem to really have a good thing going there, and I just want you to know it hasn't gone unrecognized.
Well, I appreciate it. Those guys, I've known Shannon Howell with the town of Rogersville and Ronnie Woodard with East Lauderdale. I've known them for a long time. We worked together on many projects in the past when I was associated with Lexington, and so they're good people to work with, and so we're excited about it. Hopefully this funding will be what we think it's going to be, and we can move forward with that and be able to provide those guys with some water. That would be beneficial to everyone, I believe. But I appreciate that, Mr. Hendricks. Any more questions?
That's it.
Thank y'all.
Ms. Shana?
I have general business, A, B, and C, approved the general fund, solid waste, special fund budgets for fiscal year 24 and 25. The general fund budget projected revenue growth of about $2.3 million. Expenditures will grow proportionally to that as well. A net increase in revenue of about $2 million. Items of note is a 2% cost of living adjustment to all employees, and then the retirement match changed from 2.75 to 3. So any questions on the general fund budget?
Just thank you for your patience with us as we got it to tonight. Thank you, Ms. Evans, for allowing us to wait. And then I know all of the questions that we've all had in your work through the Finance Committee, of which I'm not a part, but you always are there to answer any questions that we have, so thank you.
No additional questions?
I'll go through the special funds as well. The 117 capital improvement fund is just additional funding for the construction of Station 4 fire station. That'll be at the corner of Mahogany and Franklin. Okay. So that's just additional funding to go towards that project. Fund 188 is funding at the police department to purchase additional patrol vehicles and some improvements to the HVAC at headquarters, the sportsplex, regrade the fields, and additional parking. And then for the fire department, training center upgrades and upgrades to Station 5. And the paving program is $3.4 million over various funds. So any questions on that one?
No, I will say I was glad to see paving went up a little bit. I know we're gonna have to do that in order to keep the list that Mr. Batson has worked so hard to make sure that we maintain. But the prices are just where they are, and knowing that we only have one of those stripers in the whole state of Alabama. So it's very important that we keep that going so we stay on that path.
And then in the solid waste budget, there is a budget deficit of $81,000. He has a purchase of 3 garbage trucks, and of course, as discussed earlier, was the increase to Waste Connection, the contractual services, or that per ton increase. And then he has a few little changes, purchase of forklift and skid steer and recycle. Any questions on that one? Any questions at all? Is that it? Is that it? Thank you.
Mark?
Hi, I have items D, E, and F on general business, and it just kind of piggybacks Shana's, since utility is the budget amendment for electricity, gas, and water, wastewater. And since our budgets begin on July 1st, we don't do any kind of wage increase or anything else, so this matches the 2% general wage increase and the 25% that Shayla mentioned for the retirement increase. And that's all for the electricity and water. Gas, we met with the, seems like forever ago, with the utility committee on 9/23 and discussed adding an additional truck for the gas department, $77,500. And there was also, we made one personnel change to match an IT employee. All of them, but one are on electricity. And so gas and water early, and the electricity was a little later. We passed them for electricity, and there was one we need to go back to shore up on gas. It is just an IT employee.
Do you have any questions for Mark?
No, this is just, we've already approved, I'm just making sure everybody understands, we've approved your budget. This is about the 2% COLA increase, that's all.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any other? All right, thank you.
Bob?
Good afternoon. I have 4 items on the regular agenda tonight, all alcohol applications. Item 12B is an alcohol beverage license application for the operation of a full menu restaurant with on-premises liquor, beer, and wine by M. Flores LLC, doing business as, I do not know Spanish, so Don Miguel Mexican Cuisine, located at 1917 Florence Boulevard, sponsored by me, so that is the old Tour Way restaurant
Garden
location.
Gate.
Do what?
Garden Gate.
The old Garden Gate, yes. For the younger, newer people on council. The second one is alcohol beverage application for the operation of full menu restaurant with on-premises liquor, beer, and wine by Holland's Bar and Grill LLC, doing business as Holland's Bar and Grill, located at 116 South Pine Street. That's just right across the street here, so they're getting ready to open up. Item D is a resolution to approve an alcohol beverage license application for the operation of a package store with lounge retail liquor class 2 by Lakshmi 2024 LLC, doing business at Star Package Store located at 1820 Darby Drive. This is a change of ownership. I believe Jimmy Clemens, the former fire chief, assistant fire chief,
Yes.
that was his location. And then finally, I've got an alcohol beverage license application for the operation of a convenience store with retail beer off premises only and retail table wine off premises only by Ava 2024 LLC, doing business as John's Market, located at 2614 Huntsville Road. That is also a change of ownership. And actually, the last 2 is the same person.
Of D and E are the same owner?
I'm sorry?
D and E are the same owner?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I got.
That's it.
Thank you.
Mayor?
I have 2 items, S and T. S is to Party Never Ends rental, which are the tents and other things we need for the 11th Veterans Day program. And T is, I sent all of you a copy of the MOU that the county commission has passed for our understanding of us taking care of the animals in the county, which over the last year has gone very well. I'd say I'd like more funds from them, but that's where we are, and we keep working. I want to thank Jackie. I know Cheryl's been trying to work on this surgery suite, and I know the home builder is going to help us with that. I'm real pleased that that's happening. You have any question?
So that's $150,000 annually, that's what we agreed upon.
That's right. They're already giving us 100, so it's a total of 250.
Oh, a total of 250.
Yes, ma'am.
And will that change depending on how many how much care we provide?
Not at this time. I mean, what we're hoping, it's taken a while for them to move forward on this surgical suite. We're hoping that's gonna make a big difference in our expenses, so stay tuned.
President Simmons asked me to expand on that, on what Home Builders was actually offering to do for us. Is that correct? So they do community projects. They take on certain ones, and I had them work with us to do some work at the library a couple of years ago. They did a phenomenal job there, and I just reached out to them to see if they would take this on as a project. All they really need is a wall and a door installed. They already have the door, and then I think it's in there that because she stated the county would pay for any of the materials, and so they'll cover the labor. And the goal is to begin work on this in early November and have it finished by the end of the first quarter, fiscal quarter, so January 1 could be up and running, and Shayna's run some numbers on what we think our animal cost would go down, animal care costs that could go down with that. Plus, it gives them the opportunity now to start reaching out to Mississippi State and other places to, get some vets in, and good resume experience for them, and so it's just a win for everybody. We just need to get it completed.
And so that's the surgical suite, Jackie?
Yes, she's got an empty office that she will convert to the surgical suite. And then there's an open area in the hallway that's where the wall needs to be built, which will be the storage facility. Has to have a pocket door there, and then a fire door on the outside, which is the door she's got. And then I think from what she said, the state would have to come up and inspect it and give them approval to open it. It's basically for vaccinations and spay and neuter, right? So if an injured animal came in, they would be able to do that type of surgery. It would still be outsourced to a local veterinarian office.
Very similar to what they're already doing at Huntsville.
Sure, yeah, thank you for that additional information.
Thank you. So that's everything. We've got some board openings. We have one on the tree commission. We have a vacancy there. I don't think we have any applications, correct? Okay. And then we have one on the beautification board, and we have 2 applications for that one. We have River Zareski and Dennis Mayfield.
I'd like to appoint Mr. Zirinsky to that role.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have Mr. Zareski and Mr. Jackie, so that's the council. All in favor? Let it vote. All right. Congratulations, Mr. River.
Can I say something? Do you give me permission, President Simmons, to say one thing?
Absolutely.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Florence City Council for appointing me to the Beautification Board. I hope that I can serve our city honorably. Back on August 20th, if any of y'all were watching that council meeting, I spoke about an ideal that I would like to implement for these ornamental cabbages for window boxes in downtown that I've seen in Corinth. They're purple, they will go with UNA, I think, very well. So I hope to present that to the Beautification Board very soon. I'm also really excited because I'm going to get to attend the tree lighting coming up as the new member of the Beautification Board here on Court Street. So that's coming up later this month, and I encourage everybody to come out and attend that. And the last thing I'll say is I believe I'm the first member of the Beautification Board with autism, and so I hope that people that have a disability will be able to come to me and maybe I can do something for them. And that's all I'd like to say, so thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Simmons, I want to be sure River understands. You made the nomination tonight. It'll actually be on the next agenda.
It'll come by resolution.
To confirm.
Yeah, when you'll officially be initiated. Wait.
Don't go buy any cabbage.
Yeah, don't go buy any cabbage. And then we have one vacancy on CETA. And that's it. So we. And we have a library foundation.
That's the one that I sent some information on. That is the one that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you're ready for it to be. Has to come.
Okay, we'll take care of this for the next week, since it's 9 o'clock.